All right, welcome to today's session. I'm stoked to be here for this live active session that we're going to be going through today. Hey, PJ, what's happening? I like that energy, Zonguru. I'm here, man. I'm here for you guys. Yeah, so this is a different style session that we're doing today. It's really a live teardown. So we have some brands that are going head to head. As we go through an optimization process, I'll talk you through that. I'll give you my insights as we go, and it's an engaging kind of active session. So if you have questions, comments, this is why I'm really here for you. So ask me anything. We can talk specifically about conversational search and Rufus. We can talk about anything as we go through. So let me know your comments there, where you're from, and feel free to drop some questions into the comments. I'll also offer up front that if you have a brand and an ASIN and you want me to drop it into our Helix system, I can go ahead and do that. And then if we have time at the end, we can have a look at it together, and I'll send you the results from that as well. So look forward to any comments from you guys. What's up, Nicola? Lake Tahoe, how are you doing? Brandon Hart, yeah, Blue Wave, yeah, you guys are epic. So always good to have you guys there. So yeah, feel free if you have questions, brands, anything you want to drop in there, go ahead, and we'll go from there. So let's jump into the live session. We're going to be here probably for an hour, we'll make it engaging and different as we go through. So I've got lots to share today, and excited to answer all your questions. Let me go ahead and share. Okay, so let's see if I got it up here. Right, I got you guys on the left-hand side, and I got my screen here, so we're all good. Okay, so as we mentioned up front, something big is here, right? We have Zonguru's structured listing engineering. We've actually coined the term, structured listing engineering, which is really how you need to look at your content on Amazon and beyond, which is how do you structure it? How do you get the architecture right to make it readable by AI in the best way possible? How do you send the best signals to AI to ensure that you rank and relevancy is there? So this is what Helix is. It's an AI forward system that really helps you to create that structured content. But at the same time, we help you with your brand positioning, your unique voice, how to connect with customers, all the things that AI can be so good at, and helping you to create the best content on Amazon, which ultimately is the heartbeat of your business outside of your product, right? So we're going to jump in and show you more of that today as we go through. Brandon, thank you for dropping in an ASIN. If you want to drop your brand in, that would be great as well. And then we can, drop your brand in too. Okay, so this is a cool part. So this is what we're going to look at today. We're looking at a head-to-head of two brands in this live teardown. And we're looking at Thule, which is a Swedish brand. You guys will all know this, I'm sure. It's racks for your bicycles, for storage systems on your car, right? So we're going to be looking at that. And then a competitor of theirs, Kuat. That's got some pretty good presence as a global brand. These are massive brands, not just obviously on Amazon. Off of Amazon, they're huge, right? So how well are these brands optimized for Cosmo and for Rufus on Amazon? We shall find out, and we'll find out who wins. And there's some interesting stuff to look at for sure. I chose these from just going through the experience of starting a new search and looking for products, right? And we ended up choosing these brands, and I'll show you why in a second. So all right, Nicola, thank you for jumping in as well. So got a couple of brands there, which is cool. We'll come back to that in a second. I wanted to put this slide up front. So anybody who's live right now or listens to this later, you have a couple of days to go ahead and sign up for Helix. We have a link, right? You can go to zonguru.link/Helix50. We'll drop that in the chat as well. You can put Helix 50 or actually just Helix, either of those two. We'll get you to the landing page. There's some information on there, but you can click through. You can sign up for ai.zonguru.com, and it's a free sign up, and you can get in there and you can go through your brand, your product, and then go ahead and purchase some credits. You need the credits for the listing transformation. And the offer today is anybody who goes in there and types in to our chat inside of there, once you've registered live teardown and you've got some credits, we'll match those credits, right? So if you go in there, you purchase one, we'll give you another one free. If you go and buy 5, we'll give you 5. If you go and buy 100, we'll give you 100, right? So you've got till April 12th, which is a couple of days to get that done. But jump in and sign up now. Follow along live while I go through this in the next while. It'll be really helpful to you guys. And it's a super awesome system. It's going to give you so much value, not just on the listing, but just in understanding of your brand. We've got a couple of slides, then we're going to jump into the live teardown. This unpopular opinion I shared last week, and I'm going to share it again because it's, I totally 100% agree with it, which is Rufus is already the best way to shop on Amazon. And in fact, across all LLMs, ChatGPT, any of them. If you're researching a product and you want, the right relevant recommendations based on your shopping criteria, Rufus is up there with the best, if not the best, already in the space, right? And Amazon is all in on that, right? For very specific reasons. So, and it's validated further just by the search that I did across, racks for your bicycles for Thule and for Kuat. I used obviously Rufus for that, and it's so much more efficient. You get your answers pretty quickly, right? I'll back it up as well. Say it's the best place for sellers to make more money. There is, with change is opportunity, right? And Amazon sellers, you guys are the best at jumping on opportunity and being early on that as entrepreneurs. And there are significant brands that, including these ones, that have not optimized yet properly, right? So here's your chance to jump ahead of them and be optimized for the AI as soon as you can. So all right. So why is Amazon all in? Well, 270 million plus customers already using it. 12 billion in additional revenue just from Rufus sales alone projected for 2026. These are the cool things. 60% higher conversion rate, right? You're getting in there, you're chatting with Rufus, you're getting the answers to your shopping criteria up front, you're trusting the recommendations and you're purchasing, right? Instead of going and reading every single PDP on a page, right? So, high conversion rate, higher cart values. And we'll talk more about that. So let's keep jamming here because I want to get into actually looking at some listings. If you don't know, there's a new algorithm in place. It's an intelligent algorithm, which is really needed on Amazon side to be able to give quality recommendations in conversational search. And that transpires across into typical organic search result pages with keyword search, right? So, this sophisticated algorithm can now read the content, map the content on your listing for both conversational search with Rufus and for your typical keyword search, right? So gone are the days of having to keyword stuff listings, etc., and deal with this archaic listing algorithm called A9. It is now Cosmo. You got to get on and use it. These are the kind of mapping systems that are on the back end. The easiest way for me to explain that is like there's an intelligent algorithm that is asking the questions like, what is your product? Who's it for? When should it be used? What problem is it solving? What is it compared to, right? These are the kind of things it's trying to connect the dots on so that it can serve your content to all the different pathways that users can use to find your product. And it's exponentially more than just keywords, right? Because you're having conversations. So this is the mapping that needs to be on the back end. We test this mapping to make sure that you have your content mapped to this and sending the strongest signals to this intelligent algorithm so that you showcase and get surfaced for these. And if it can't understand your listing, it can't recommend you. And I'm going to show you that in the examples that I'm going to jump into in a second. This is the opportunity, right? If you're not optimized, you're missing out on that traffic, both on normal search and conversational search. And if you do it now, you're ahead of your competitors, right? So get in and get it done. We're testing this across thousands of brands that are already implementing our optimization transformed listings. And we see increases in sessions, conversion rates, niche rank across all of these brands, right? There's over 400 brands with thousands of listings. So it works. You get your ROI back literally in seconds after doing this, right? So not only are we improving the AI readability of your listings, we're actually helping you to improve how you connect with customers and maximize conversion, which is so critical. If you right here increase your conversion rate 18%, right? What's that going to do to your Amazon business? A lot. So this is what we've got. We've got Zonguru AI powered by Helix. It's the listing engineering platform that we've developed. It is a very cool system that has multi agentic agents on the back end, really doing the hard work for you. And what's really cool is it'll guide you as you go through it, and you can actually see the brain working, not only in researching the space, but strategically thinking about how to position your brand so that you have a unique position over your competitors. How cool is that, right? This is what it does: researches, positions, structures, and creates high performing listings, right? Engineered for discovery, crafted to convert. Okay, so these are the two brands that we're looking at: Thule and Kuat, right? Up at the top. Sorry about that. Let me go back here. And we are going to jump over and start looking at these listings and understanding, hey, how well are they optimized? What should they have done better? How are they being recommended in Rufus? And how are these multi-million-dollar brands actually performing on this channel, right? And have they got an area for improvements? And I can tell you there for sure is. Okay, so let me have a look over here. All right, so Brandon, great. Nicola, thank you for putting in there. Brandon, I've been using Rufus myself for personal use, and wow, feels silly going through the pages and doing search, typical, reviews of PDPs. 100%, I agree, right? It's totally different experience, and I just use it 90% of the time. If I'm researching something and I want options, I'm going in and using Rufus. If I know what I want, obviously I'll just type in the keyword, but it is a way better experience. So thank you for that. And Nicola and Brandon, we will drop for sure your brands and products into the system Helix towards the end. We'll do that as well. So let's look at these brands. Okay. Again, questions, guys. I want to hear them because it's really important that I answer all your questions around this topic as much as possible. So please give me your questions. Thule, again, these are racks for your bicycles, storage that goes into your car, your bicycle, etc. It's got an interesting, these are two big brands, right? And they have very different brand personalities. And it was really interesting to see what their brand personality looks like when you jump over and you look at it within Helix, which is good. And this is obviously Kuat, right? Another massive brand, right? So I went and did a search on Amazon. I started on a product that I haven't researched because I wanted to make sure you guys know that obviously Cosmo is going to customize results based on your previous search history, right? So this is something that I haven't researched before, and I wanted to record the actual experience I had before it knew I was looking for this product and started to drop it into my search. So it's kind of like a ground zero, clean slate in terms of what the algorithm brings back, right? So I did the search mountain bike hitch rack for 2 bikes, right? I just put that in, and I want to show you what the results look like. So I recorded them in Komodo just so we could actually look at like, hey, in the search, right, which is my initial search, what was coming back from Amazon, right? And we can kind of look at this, right? So you'll see the search I did at the top, and the results are actually like some of the cheaper recommendations, right? You can see obviously over here you can see the recommendation from Amazon tanks, right? We keep scrolling down. I'm not seeing Kuat, right? Nothing. I'm still not seeing it. Not seeing it. I'm not seeing Thule. And we keep going down. Still haven't seen any of them. All these other recommendations, right, on that search. And then I think we hit Thule all the way down the bottom, right? Here we go. So there you see there's one Thule, right, at the bottom. So right down there, we have Thule right down at the bottom. No mention of Kuat on page 1, right? Off of that search term. Now, obviously, there's multiple ways to search for that, but it's just showing you like, hey, like they're not optimized for something which is mountain bike hitch rack for 2 bikes, right? Is something that they will definitely want to be optimized for. So that's where I started, right? The second one I want to show you is like, okay, well, I jumped into Rufus, right, and started to do similar kind of searches, which we can start over here. So I typed in, I'm looking for a hitch mountain bike rack for 2 bikes, right? So what comes back? Well, interestingly, it's an interesting algorithmic switch here, right? Amazon's also testing things, trying to see, what is a better way to surface content. And what's interesting is like you saw on the right-hand side, it was recommending cheaper products, right? $179, $129. When I did in Rufus, it actually came back and it started, showcasing premium brands first. So look at Thule was up, Kuat came up first, right? So I was like, okay, I kept going with that, right? Just as a typical search. And then keep going down. So it got a couple of recommendations. And then I actually stopped it and I said, hey, let's see. I said, hey, can you give me some options in the 100 to 300 range? I was kind of curious to see, hey, is it similar recommendations to what we were seeing on the keyword search, right? So said absolutely, and it dropped in a few more, right? So dropped in some brands, great. Now I'll show you where the power starts to come in, right? I'm just trying to be. Here we go. So here, so I said, now I'm a shopper, right? And I'm like seeing these things come back, and I'm like, hey, there's so many more things to consider when I'm buying a product, right? I don't know about like the size of my hitch, or some of these things that I saw starting to pop up, like lightness, or that they can, how it attaches to a rack, that it's a contactless, so it doesn't scratch your bike. Like, so I'm starting to see some of this come up in the Rufus recommendations. So I was like, hey, what are the key questions I should be asking to assess the right choice for me? It's educating me, right? I'm not getting that when I'm looking on the right, or I will find that, but I'm going to have to do a lot of work. So it comes back. Great question. Hey, here you go. About your bikes. What's the weight? About the vehicle. Is it a 1.25 or a 2-inch hitch, right? Usage and security, right? Let it wait for it to just go down here. Budget considerations, all of this kind of stuff, right? So it's coming back and it's giving me the Rufus Q&A already starting. So then let's just click over here. So that now it's coming back and saying, I came back and I said, increase my price range, and I want a tilting option best for frame protection for professional mountain bikes, best for 2-hitch. Can you recommend across the range of pricing? Great. It's come back and recommended, right? And interestingly, look what it recommended. It recommended Echo Pro in the budget. It recommended Hollywood racks in the mid, and it recommended Kuat in the premium, right? So when I ask specific questions around the product, it's Rufus and Cosmo going back and saying, what are the strongest signals? What is the best thing for me to serve that matches this type of questioning? And it's come back and said, hey, the premium one, which competes with Thule, is Kuat, right? It's come back and said that. Okay, I'm like, cool. Now, sorry about that. Now it tells me a bunch more about it, and then I said, hey, does Thule not fit this criteria? Comes back and it's like, yes, it does, right? So the point being is like, Thule is just stronger, is a relevant match for that. But Rufus decided to recommend Kuat over Thule, right? In this specific example, right? And then it comes back and, I got some more recommendations, but you can kind of see how the engagement there, but also how is Rufus thinking about it to make sure it's recommendations, and why did it recommend Kuat over Thule in that specific example, right? Now we're going to start to look at why, right? So I'm going to jump over. Guys, if there's any questions, bring them in. Yeah, some really good comments here from Brandon, of course. So thank you for that. So this is Kuat's listing, right? So big no, doesn't have any copy content overlay on their second image. That's bad. But otherwise pretty good. Like, it's got some unique USPs that it's calling out: compact and capable, high versatility. Obviously an incredible listing because it's a premium brand, right? They've got good content here. It matches their brand. It has all the pieces that is needed on here, right? So we don't have to spend too much time on that. And then obviously looking over at Kuat, interestingly, they don't have any overlays in the images. Bad, right? From their side, right? They need to have that for human conversion, right? People buy with their eyes. So if you're looking at this carousel, what is it actually telling you there that actually helps sell it? So their conversion rate is in the toilet right now compared to what it could be if they actually just overlaid it with copy. And then secondly, that's readable by AI, right? So you're not sending enough signals there just through your images right off the bat, right? But it has got some decent bullets and the rest of the listing, right? And it has it has A+ content, which is great, right? So those are the listings. Now let's go over and actually look inside of ai.zoguru.com. Again, if you want to sign up, I'm going to give you some links in a second. I talked about them up front. In fact, I'm just going to drop them into the chat so that you have them. If you want to sign up for the Helix app, or even for our free Cosmo readiness report, which is another thing we can chat about, you can go ahead and just literally click on these links. I'm going to add them in here, and you can go ahead and sign up right now and follow along. And again, if you mention in the chat inside right here, right, just click on this, put in there that, hey, live teardown, we'll match your credits, right? So you got to get started, and you can just click on here and literally start to add your brand, right? So just type in your brand. I'm going to just do this right now for I guess who came up first, Hathaway. So I'm going to add find my brand. It's going and researching online for brands that match this, and it's going to come back, and we need to seed it with the relevant websites, and then it's going to start doing the hard work, right? Understanding your positioning, everything else, right? So found 5 brands. Hopefully one of these is it. So pool table, which I don't know if that's what it is. Oh, it is folding pool table. So let's go with that. So we'll go with this for right now. It's going to start researching and doing that, but we'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to jump over and actually look at the brands that we looked at, right? So I went through and did Thule, right? So it came back. What's really interesting about this is, it asked me questions to validate. There was some conflicting information around the founding story, which I obviously corrected, but it's got the brand story, the audience and position, right? Your unique value proposition, premium engineered transport and outdoor products backed by proprietary Thule test program. It goes into a whole bunch of stuff, right? It's talking about premium luxury, voice and messaging, confident and reassuring with an engineering backbone. Thule speaks in clear, decorative statements that put safety and quality beyond question, right? So this is the tonality, messaging preference, proof, right? Everything here that we need to know about the brand. And we can go back and actually look at, Kuwat as well. Let me go back and look at Kuwat because I did that, right? Different brand, right? USP, industry-leading engineering and design innovation paired with unmatched style, right? And then the voice messaging is interesting. It's different, energetic, outdoorsy, and confident with a playful edge. Speaks in the casual vernacular of the outdoor community, stoked, rack love, blah, 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 right? So messaging preference, lead with innovation. So it's telling you, hey, this is how the brand personality is. Is this right? This is what we're going to use when we structure and engineer your content, right? So it's a really good way to reflect on what your brand is. Let's keep going because I want to move over to the actual product side of it. So we ran the brands, then we went ahead and actually ran the product setup. Now, this product setup is where we do a lot of the heavy lifting, right? We go and research your niche on Amazon in the structure with the brand, around this premiumness of the brand. We're looking at other competitors, and we're looking for what are the attributes that really are unique to your brand and your product that customers really care about. So you can connect the dots there, and that is different to your competitors, right? And it's starting to surface this in the summary view, right? So you can see all the key features, what's really important, the differentiators, the product attributes, the certifications, the compliance and disclaimers, and the do not mention. So like with the terms of service of Amazon, what is compliance for your category, right? These are really important things. This is the important thing I want to show you. The readiness score here, which is basically the initial score before we've optimized the listing of how it's matched for AI readability, is pretty low. It's at 57 out of 100. For a big brand like this, they are significantly underperforming, and they need to improve their content, right? So it shows you here, remember that knowledge graph that I showed you? It shows you where there's gaps, right? It's not even really talking about the used for situation, there's a bunch here, 5 out of 11 of the main cosmic, the main dots that need to be connected for Cosmo. Who's it for? When is it? What for? Etc. Those are missing. So it can't recommend your listing if those dots are not connected. So you need to improve that. And then on the Rufus Q&A, it had 4 out of the 14. So there's a bunch of things on the Q&A side that you need to improve so that it can answer the right questions. So when I'm going there and I'm saying, hey, I am looking for one that works with my carbon frame. Like if I type that into Rufus, my bike is a carbon frame and I want one that is contactless, that doesn't scratch my bike, etc. If I put that in there, if Rufus is not seeing that Thule is a good match for that, it's not going to recommend you, right? And therefore you fall short, right? So does it require an adapter for 1.25 inches? If you answer those, when I'm typing specific things in Rufus, it's going to surface and connect your product, right? So there's things to improve here. Now, when I go over and I actually look at Kuwat, let's go over here. This is product. We're going Kuwat, right? Look at the score, 74 and 75. That's a pretty decent score, right? So it's got a much stronger signal being sent to Rufus, right? So when I asked it, hey, can you recommend the best brand that that matches what I'm looking for, even though Thule and Kuat were offering a product that matches my criteria, it recommended Kuat over Thule, right? There's other things that go into that. We don't have to talk too much. Yes, it's all content and there's reviews and a bunch of other things. But right here off the bat, if you're not setting the strongest signals, your chance of being recommended is less. Case in point, we've got a Kuat over a Thule. And when I asked it, is Thule a good match for it? It said, yes, it is, but it recommended Kuat over it. So there you go. There's a great use case that if you improve your signaling, you have a better chance of being recommended by Rufus. Hope that makes sense. This is a really important point for you when you're looking at this, right? I wanted to show you what this looks like in the product setup, right? It comes in, but it's going to ask you, hey, what is your main buy keyword for your niche, right? And it gives you a recommended versus the other ones. You can change this. You can confirm the selection. Hey, what are the main competitors? I can change this, or I can say, hey, these are the major competitors that I'm actually looking at. When I'm looking at this, right? So I can change this. I can put Thule. I can do whatever I want. I'm just going to confirm these. It's going to go in. Then it's going to say, hey, is this actually, you didn't specify whether it's e-bike compatible. This is critical, right? I should put it in here. It's actually going to give me, what's cool about the system is it gives you, it gives you its best answer to what it thinks should be the thing, but you can validate it, right? So I can hit tab. It says, yes, it does, up to 40 pounds per tray. Not recommended for e-bikes over 40 pounds. Okay, fine. Or I could change this and say, hey, I don't actually want this part. I can do any e-bike. It's all cool, right? Continue, right? And then it's going to go in. It's going to keep going through and just validating a few of these things, right? This is an important one, which is found when I looked at this further. Customers really care about this. Is the hitch, wobble, and stability, is it stable, right? Or is there a lot of wobbling that happens? So this is important. It includes a torque knob anti-wobble bolt that eliminates hitch play. This is a critical thing that customers from reviews are looking for, right? So yes, I got that in there. So it's going to go through and it's got verified, but there's a bunch of stuff here that still needs to verify. So you just go in, you verify, but it's going through all the attributes, right? Mounting style, maximum tire width, all stuff that's missing from the current Kuat listing that really needs to make sure that it dials in based on connecting all the dots. So like the technical aspect of this is going to, especially with a product like this, is going to help you so much more if you give it the right input up front, right? So there's a bunch of stuff that the Kuat team has not thought of that they should be putting in place, right? This is the forest from the trees, which is a really cool way to reflect on your brand and helps you through the system, right? So you can keep going through, just tab in here or write whatever you want, and you can just keep going, right? So I wanted to just show you this because this is a really critical step, and it's helping to identify what are the things that customers care about, what are the technical things you should be putting in there, and what is your unique selling proposition over your competitors. Validate this with us so that we can really transform your listings in the best way possible. A really cool step that has a lot of power behind it. So take this step really seriously. Okay, so we're going to transformations, right? So now we're on to the step where I've just run it again. I've run it for the Thule brand, right? We haven't done the Kuat brand yet, but I'll show you the results. Like a 96 is where it scores now, right? So you're telling me if you don't put this listing live, you don't think you might get a better chance of getting recommended over Kuat or any other competitors? That is the challenge, right? I want to show you before we jump in and look at this. Nicola, what are your thoughts on using 3D images in your product listing? It's interesting. We had a guy, Ganesh, based in the UK, who does this focus, and I would say 3D imaging is great, right? In terms of how readable that is by AI, I don't have an answer on that, but I can tell you that that 3D interactive imagery, what I saw from that presentation was that it helps massively with conversion, because at the end of the day, it's helping to answer shopping decision making up front, right, in a more engaging, interactive way that stands out from all your competitors. So if you adding that improves your conversion rate, it's going to help you all around, right? So I would say, if the stats are what we saw from that presentation a couple of weeks ago with 3D imagery and how it helps with conversion rates and engagement and page engagement and purchase behavior, it's definitely worth doing. Okay, so I want to show you when you do a transformation, right? What happens with the brain when it's working, right? When Helix system, what does it actually look like when it's working on the back end? And I want to show you. It's over here, I think. Yeah, over here. So this is it, right? So I just recorded it because I want to show you a couple of snippets. But this is the cool part about it, because our system is not only, once it has the information, brand and product at a high level, it's going to start transforming the listings, which is writing the content in the right way for AI readability, but also for strategic positioning of your product. So what the system does is it finds the gaps, and then it researches, but then it strategically thinks about how to write your content in a unique way so it connects with your customer and converts. So, this is the kind of stuff it shows you, right? So look at it right here. I noticed the listing is performing well on what the product does, what it's capable of, but it's silent on who's it for and when they use it, which are the weakest dimensions by far. That's a significant gap because Thule's brand positioning is lifestyle first, active families, adventurers, road trippers, right? The copy isn't speaking to those personas on the seasonal situation use cases, right? So, it's really thinking, right? And it's finding the gaps that it's researched and you've validated through the brand and positioning, and then it's connecting the dots, which is a really cool thing to do in your content. So this is interesting. The UVP has 80 years of heritage, talking about the proprietary Thule program. This listing isn't claiming its competitive advantage on explaining why Thule's engineering rigor matters relative to other racks. That's a missed opportunity, right? So it's coming back and saying, hey, you guys are missing things that are so important to your brand and to your product, right? I ran another one here. Let's see what this one says, because it's just really cool to see this stuff as it's researching, right? So my approach to the target audience delivered the most dramatic lift, jumping 60 points, which tells me the original listing was speaking to no one in particular, and my rewrite anchored the product to specific user personas, parents, commuters, outdoor enthusiasts that Cosmo could recognize and weight heavily. The strategy paid off because I front-loaded audience language early in the copy where semantic weight concentrates most. So what's really cool about this, and to give you some understanding of the back end, we're not just prompting our system that we've built, we're getting solutions back, and then we're re-prompting it saying, hey, I want you to double check that your recommendation is actually what is going to drive the needle. And this is an example here. It's actually checking its own work and saying, hey, what I did was really good, right? So I'm going to keep doing that. Or what I did was actually not that good. How do I improve it, right? This is like, 10xing your output because it keeps rechecking its work against what it does. So it's happening, obviously, over a few minutes, but it's really powerful at just improving what it is and double checking that it's doing the right things, right? So let's see what else it says here. So, okay, so I think this is the only one I did. My title and bullet restructuring confirmed that Hughes on was starving for context. The original listing never mentioned when or how often someone would use this rack. So I threaded seasonal language, weekend trips, blah, blah, blah. And the 53 point jump shows Cosmo found that signal when it completed. So it's checking his work, right? There you go. So this is the cool part about it. And this is what your final transformation looks like. So we're going to go in and look at a transformation right now and just show you what that looks like. So again, if you guys have any questions on this, let's go ahead and look at that. And then we'll come back and look at the brand that I just dropped in more detail. So 96 is the score right now, right? So you can see high level, what's improved, right? Your mapping, your Rufus Q&A coverage, right? Your listing analysis, right? Looking at your content, your copy content, and then your image side, right? So let's look at the copy content first. And I want to just point out a few things. Like this is a very detailed report, right? Which gives you the solution that you should put up, but it also gives you the insights as to why, right? So as a brand owner or an agency, you need to read this, right? Because this will substantiate why. There's also really cool information in here that you can use to get an understanding of how your product is positioned, not only for use on Amazon. You can use this, if I ran this, I'd probably go back to my Thule Shopify site and update the stuff based on this brand stuff, right? It is super helpful. You can actually download the report here. You can also download a CSV of the content. There's plenty of ways that you can use it, right? But this is cool. We're saying here, hey, primary focus, the fundamental strategic shift moved the Outpace 2 from a generic rack specification inventory to a premium Thule lifestyle proposition, replacing neutral transactional copy with Nordic direct second-person voice that frames rubber-padded frame protection, yada, yada, right? It's telling you what the strategic positioning is of this content that matters most to customers, right? And that's what we're calling out right here on the screen, right? Okay, so let's just keep going. Transformation of the listing, right? So this was the current bullet point. Supports a wide range of bike frames, geometries, and tube diameters. Now it's like aircraft grade aluminum, highway proven stability, right? The wobble, right? The Outpace 2 weighs just 32 pounds, yet holds 110 pounds, supporting 55 pounds. So you load up and drive with complete confidence. An anti-wobble hitch connection eliminates rattle at any speed, and the rack is tested to this bicycle carrier and SAE hitch couple standards. So it's understanding what the brand voice is, what customers care about. And like, you know, if I'm coming for a premium rack and I'm like a professional mountain bike downhill dude, and I'm coming and reading this, when I read this first sentence, is that going to sway me or is this going to sway me, right? It's a massive change in how you positioning all of your content, and it's really critical, right? So descriptions, you know, back in search terms, you know, and then, you know, you get all this content you can download, titles, etc. But it's also going to start showing you how it's focused, right? Like, so this current listing was spec focused. Now it's experience driven, right? And it's telling you why. Every feature is anchored in a tangible customer outcome, right? It goes into features and benefits and how it's evolved, right? So it talks about safety and engineering standards, absent. No mention of testing, certifications, or warranty. What? Now it's talking about the two-layer test program, you know, etc. Anti-wobble hitch, not mentioned. Now it's talking about it, right? This is a critical thing for customers, right? So it shows you everything that's done here and the research that's done in the space. We come to the semantic mapping, right? Who's it for? What's it for? When is it used, etc. It's all here. We get into the now. Obviously, keywords are really critical still, right? So we look at all the keywords that we're exact or broad matching for, which will help on the Cosmo Rufus conversation, but also help on just the typical organic SEO side of it, right? So here's all the terms. We've got your search volume, what's matched, how's it covered. There's a bunch of keywords. It's going on forever, right? Like these are all matched in a beautiful way in your listing content without, you know, keyword stuffing, right? Very good. And then, I mean, there's so much cool stuff in here that is worth looking at. Your brand voice understanding. Tuli's voice is confident and declarative. Talks about it, right? What it was before, what it is after, right? We then talk about, you know, there's a whole bunch here you can read. The ISP and USP. This is really critical, right? Like understanding, like, what is your unique position, right? Your core USP is the combination of aircraft grade aluminum construction with a lightweight 32-pound profile thing, appearing as genuinely rare, and the premium 2-bike hitch rack tier. Most racks at this capacity either sacrifice weight or strength. You guys nail that, right? Tule, if they're listening. Ideal customer profile understanding, and it talks about the customer. This is like your brand persona right here. I mean, this is critical for you to understand on here how it's reflected back, and obviously you can use it anyway. And then it talks about how it's your USPS coverage, any compliance side of it, customer profile alignment. There's a bunch in here you can look at, right? We're going to come back to look at how that's launched. But let's also look at the image side, right? Because this is some real work that needs to be done, and this is amazing stuff, honestly, that is really helpful. Let's see, anything else in here at the moment? Okay, so on the image side, okay, one of my favorite pieces on the image side right now is this piece right here, the core. You can read all of this, right? Again, it's reflecting your ideal customer profile and your unique selling proposition as how that matches the ideal customer profile. So this is like gold to any brand to understand, like, how are we strategically positioning your brand? But this is also really cool. What customers want, features and benefits. This is straight out of the, you know, the mouth of customers on Amazon, from reviews, from the niche that is researched. What do customers care about? Durability and build quality, stability and security, bike protection, versatility and fit, storage and convenience, ease of use and installation. And obviously there's details under all of these, but like, if it's telling you what customers want, you have to reflect it back to them through the narrative of the images and the overlay copy, as well as in your content, right? So this is really gold to you, and like how you should write your bullets, right? You know, it's showing you, you know, your Tule brand. It's showing you your competitors, and then we get into every single image, right? So the research. So we give you the order of your image carousel. What should be the order of your images to tell the perfect narrative to convert them and educate them, right? Educate and convert them. And then we talk about the technical aspects and the copy overlays that go into every single one, right? Plus, we give you prompts that you can add to Nano Bananas to generate images if you want it for inspiration or for actual use. You know, your world's your oyster as a brand owner or agency. You can use the AI images or get your creative team to develop them. It's up to you. But look at image 2, right? Research inside. Adventure context, hero shots are the most powerful secondary image for outdoor gear because they transfer the product's utility into an aspirational, emotional frame, right? It explains the whole reason. Why do you need the shot, right? So it actually gives you the visual description. A low, wide angle rear shot captures the Outpace 2 mounts on a silver SUV traveling on an open mountain highway at golden hour, blah, 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 right? It gives you the whole emotional context of how you can really nail it. Headline copy, highway proven, adventure ready. Supportive copy, anti-wobble, high connection, zero rattle at any speed. The outpace 2 holds your bike stable and secure at highway speeds on real adventures, right? It's seeing that as your biggest USP strategic thing to get up front. And we know customers care about that. So it gives you the technical requirements, and then it gives you a prompt. I recommend you upload your current images to your favorite AI creative platform, and then add this prompt, and you will be amazed at what images you get out of there. Goes into image 2, 3, 4, and then obviously your A+ content, right? And everything that you need in that as well. So everything you need to structure your listing in the best way possible for the narrative, for AI readability, for human conversion, and for performance, right? It's all here. And then you can go to your listing. You can go up into the launch center. You can see what it actually looks like, all your copy content, and then you can even do some quick fixes if you want. You can see the optimized. You can see your original. Look at this original. Come on, man. Versus optimized, right? It's all here helping you to convert customers and send the right signals to Cosmo, so you get recommended and you tap into that 270 plus million customers and 12 billion in additional sales, right? And then you can quick fix as well. So you click here. Hey, if there's something I want to change, like I'm like, you know what? Like this third bullet, actually, I really want it to just be shorter for whatever reason. I can shorten it, or I can just use AI. Say, hey, shorten to 250 characters. Generate. You can do whatever you need at the stage. We'll show you what it does. You can accept it, and then you can download and you can put that into your partial flat file. Or a lot of our partners right now have their own agentic system built with Claude, and this will just literally plug into that and then upload the content, right? So a lot of ways you can use it. So that is the system. Let's go back onto this slide. I want to just again mention this. Register. You can run a brand. You can run a product right now, and if you buy credits, you have until April 12th. Just go in there, put in the chat, hey, live teardown, and we will match your credits inside of there. So however many you buy, we'll match that, which is a pretty cool deal. It's basically 50% off, right? So go ahead and do that to just have the credits in there so you can start doing the transformations. We can go ahead and back and look at what we ran here. Brandon, I'll go ahead and actually finish this out for you and then send you the results if you want. But we can go ahead and just look at the brand in here. So this is Hathaway. So again, hopefully, I can run this for you. Obviously, Brandon, it'd be great for you to do it in your platform because you are the subject matter expert on your brand. So like, you need to confirm this, right? Is this truly based on official Blue Wave product pages? Hathaway Games and Sports is a brand under Blue Wave. It's kind of confirming the origin. I can confirm. It's going to go back and say, hey, we detect your brand's core vision. This is the brand vision. Is that correct, or do I need to change it, right? So I can easily change it, or I can update it, or I can go with whatever it's saying, right? So bump through this, you then have your brand, and then we can start adding products and we can generate them, right? So a very cool way to understand your brand and brand positioning. It takes you literally a couple of seconds to bounce through this and just make sure it's correct, and then we go from there. Okay, so Brandon, currently I still do my own review insights and pull customer usage percentages. Is this still somewhere I can input my own findings as well to support AI? Absolutely. So when you're in the product side of it, right? So let's go back to Kuat, right? As an example, right? So product attributes, right? So these are all here. If I don't like any of these that I don't want, I can just delete them. I can remove them, right? I can take them out. And by the way, I can add. So I can add right here. I can just click on it. I can add whatever the product. So if there's a certification, or if there's an attribute that I want to add, I can add it here. So if there's something that you're seeing from your review analysis that's missing from here at the product attribute level, go ahead and add that, right? So you can add. Here's a great area to add differentiators, right? So these are the differentiators that it's seen as unique to positioning, but you might have some that actually that aren't in there. So you can go ahead and add them, right? So just go ahead and add. Or under key features and benefits, just go ahead and add another one here, right? delete. Hey, anti-wobble is actually not one that I think we care about the most. We need to really position it as X, Y, and Z. So go ahead and add that item, right? So you can change it and you can input. And this is definitely at the product attribute level. This is the one where I would make sure it aligns with how you see that product and brand. And if you're the subject matter expert, you're going to see a lot of insights here that you might not have thought of. Great. But you might have things that you understand from your niche that we haven't picked up. That's why we give you the control to add it at the step, so that when we garbage in, garbage out, right? If we put good information in, you get good information out. So we give you our best shot on all the research. There's going to be things there that you love, but there might be something missing and you have an opportunity to add it. So you control the output at the end of the day by the effort that you put in, right? So it's a really important point, and you can go ahead and do that at this stage. So if we go back to head-to-head, right? I would say Kuwait is winning, right? We saw up front, but if we went ahead and pushed the listing optimization live that we came up with, which is a massive step for Tulu that they're missing out on, you just looked at that, they all win, right? 94 out of 100 instead of 51 or whatever they had. Stronger signals, better copy, emotionally connecting with the user, and helping to deliver on that. It is a significant difference right there. So, yeah, I hope that listing teardown really helped you today to understand, why structured listing engineering is so critical, why it is the way forward. It is a new AI era. Zonguri is positioned to help you in this new AI era by using AI in the best way possible to give you the inputs, the guidance, but to also allow you to put your own strategic input into that, and then giving you the content that maximizes AI readability and human conversion and connection. That's what you want on Amazon, right? You have a beautiful product. Heartbeat of your Amazon business is your listing. Use it to connect with customers, to give them what they want so that they convert, and then make it AI readability so that Rufus gets what it wants when the questions are asked, and it can recommend your product in the right way, so that you are recommended for all of those different pathways out there. And you can push your sessions up and get more discoverability, and readability and conversion, right? This is going to be massively helpful to you. So thanks everyone for participating there, and Nicola being on, and Brandon. I know you guys are huge supporters, so I appreciate it. And I look forward to helping you guys more. Let's get in and get those credits purchased, and we will match them. Just add live teardown into our chat inside of the app, and we will match that. You have until April 12th to do that. So jump in there and get that done, and we'll go from there. Good luck everyone out there, and I look forward to the next upcoming. We have another live webinar next week. We're going to get a lot deeper into the technicalities of structured listing engineering, looking at Rufus Q&A in a lot more depth, and looking at some more technicalities around that. That's next week, Thursday. And then we have an agency partner webinar coming in after that, where we bring on subject matter experts in all the different areas of e-commerce optimization on Amazon, and they will be there to educate you guys and help you with your businesses. So we look forward to those. So if you haven't signed up to our newsletter, do that. That's where you get notifications, and we'll go from there. Good stuff. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.